Welcome, and thank you for joining CLA Career Services for our Spring 2020 webinar series on navigating the job search during COVID-19. First, we want to acknowledge that these are uncertain and very difficult times, and job searching in this current environment does present unique challenges. However, we want you to know that you're not alone in this. CLA Career Services is here to help, and we're excited to share some resources and strategies that can help you maintain momentum and translate the value of your liberal arts degree to future employers. In each webinar episode, we have covered important job market updates, spent some time covering key job search strategies in depth, and shared helpful resources and events, and provided space to answer your questions. We will do that today and dive into the topic of ways to grow personally and professionally during this time. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to introduce our presenters for today. My name is Laura Heilman. I use she, her, and hers pronouns, and I'm a career counselor in CLA Career Services.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily Loudon and I am on the Employer Engagement Team in CLA Career Services.
Hi, my name is Marlena Yang. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm a career counselor in CLA Career Services.
And hello everybody, my name is Thomas Toley. I'm the Connect Manager with the BrandLab and I use he, him pronouns.
Thanks everyone. So through this webinar series, our goal is for participants to receive timely and relevant job market updates related to the impacts of COVID-19, to identify key strategies for navigating the job search during times of uncertainty, to gain valuable insights from alumni, employers, and career professionals, to learn about career resources and upcoming events for liberal arts students and recent alumni, and to create manageable action steps that candidates can take to keep the momentum going. And here is our agenda for the day. In a moment, Emily is going to start us off with some relevant and timely job market updates and trends. Then Marlena and special alumni guest Thomas will lead a discussion on personal and professional growth. I will jump back in to share some resources and upcoming events, and then we'll save some time for question and answers at the end. All right, and I'm going to transition it over to Emily.
Thank you, Laura. The uncertainty continues for employers. Many are taking it slow in making permanent decisions about their workforce. In a quick poll survey done by NACE, the National Association of Colleges and Employers, approximately 40% of employers have reported plans to maintain their standard recruiting schedule, and approximately another 40% are still waiting to see how the situation unfolds, leaving a smaller percentage who have made the decision to reduce their hiring. Recruiting efforts by employers haven't stopped entirely, but they have shifted to digital formats. Campus recruiting platforms, including GoldPass, are reporting significant increases in virtual events over this time last year. In alignment with the trend, at the U of M, we have seen a significant increase in virtual career events being offered during this time. Career events, whether held in person or virtually, are great ways to explore an interest, organization, or industry, as well as connect with contacts at an organization or in a particular industry. Based on information from job posting activity in GoldPass, the top 10 industries with active jobs in the system include K-12 education, healthcare, internet and software, human resources, nonprofit, education, government, scientific and technical consulting, research, sports, and leisure. In these uncertain times, we know that many students and recent grads are interested in learning about organizations that are still hiring right now. The University of Minnesota's job posting system GoldPass, powered by Handshake, is a valuable resource for relevant employment information, especially for those seeking entry-level or internship positions. GoldPass offers an emailed job digest with information on job posting activity in the system, Make sure to review your GoalPass notifications and complete your profile to ensure you are receiving information about new opportunities posted that match your interests. Handshake also offers a helpful blog including information on organizations that are actively hiring during this time. Learn more at learn.joinhandshake.com. The current situation is impacting recruiting strategies in a few key ways. Recruiters are being more proactive with their outreach. Handshake reported a significant increase in employers directly messaging students through the platform. Having a complete profile, including the Your Interests section, and setting your profile to be visible to employers on GoalPass significantly increases your chances of having an employer reach out to you. This impact would be true on other systems as well, including LinkedIn. Even if their hiring is on pause or they don't have clarity on their immediate hiring plans, employers are indicating a continued interest in building relationships and being visible with students. They are very much open to and hoping to hear from students during this time. Employers may be now more than ever open to connecting virtually for an informational interview, to share resume advice, and more. Employers are also overwhelmingly committed to staying engaged with campus, both in the immediate and long-term future, as they continue to build a pipeline of talent for their opportunities. More than 6,000 postings are active on GoalPass today. While some organizations are in a hiring freeze, many are still accepting application materials in hopes of moving hiring forward quickly once the process opens up. Keep in mind, response times may be slower as organizations wait for decisions to be made and to see how the situation progresses. In a survey done by Handshake, employers indicated building personal connections with candidates and effectively reaching students among their top priorities. It's noteworthy that 2 of their top 4 priorities are related to connecting with you. So while there still is uncertainty in the job market, signs from organizations, both through GoalPass as well as information we're receiving from CLA's employer partners, indicate strong interest in continuing to connect with job seekers, a genuine desire to help, and hope for their future hiring needs. Organizations are pivoting toward creative virtual recruiting strategies. Using this time to explore career paths, grow your network, build skills and competencies, and enhance your digital presence are going to be key for moving your job search forward. Next, Marlena is going to talk more in depth about strategies for personal and professional growth.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. Yeah, to start, I want to acknowledge that, right now navigating your career can be overwhelming, especially amid a pandemic. Wherever you are in your journey, we're here to support you. So remember that. It's in times like this, you're called to be creative and nimble about how to gain meaningful experience while making progress towards your goals. All things your liberal arts education prepares you for. Do know that the small steps you're taking right now, like tuning into this webinar, can make a positive impact on your growth and learning, creating the building blocks to other opportunities later on. And yes, that also includes taking care of your personal well-being. We in CLA Career Services and our employee partners, just as Emily mentioned, we empathize with you and are here for you. In this live webinar, we will discuss the important topic of personal professional growth, which is timely considering immediate plans may have changed or have required you to approach your job search differently. A recent quote shared by an employer that's very fitting and related to our topic today, and I'll read a section of it, is, "But trees don't grow overnight. You have to plant the seed, you have to water it, and you have to give it sunlight and watch it grow. So this is really going to be your time to plant those seeds." This is a theme that we've heard from our employer partners about utilizing this time as an opportunity to reflect and grow personally and professionally. So for the purpose of this webinar, we define personal and professional growth as dedicated time and energy to explore, build, and strengthen skills and competencies as a way to maintain momentum in your career journey. And there are lots of different ways in which this can show up for you. In this webinar, we will share 5 ways to enhance personal and professional development opportunities, as well as provide examples and suggestions. The first is build skills and competencies. How can you build skills and competencies right now? Are there gaps in skill areas that are desired for the career field and occupation you're interested in? it's very possible that in future interviews, employers might ask you how you utilized your time during the pandemic, and building skills can be one of them. And this can be self-taught, self-paced, without an official position title and experience. A couple of examples include taking a course on LinkedIn Learning and or Coursera for short self-guided lessons on topics like Excel, graphic design, user experience, project management. And you can reflect on previous courses you took that enabled you to deepen your knowledge and build skills and competencies. CLA developed a RATE tool, which stands for Reflect, Articulate, Translate, and Evaluate, as a way to keep track of your progress throughout your time in CLA. It's a reflective learning and self-assessment approach that helps you process your experiences, enabling you to move from career competence to career readiness. The second is create something. During this time, what can you create to showcase your talents? This can be something to illustrate how you occupied your time. Maybe you've been meaning to update your resume to reflect on recent experiences. Maybe work on a passion project, reflecting on current and past projects, anything tangible that you have to showcase. So how might you use your creativity as an act of self-care for yourself or a demonstration of your passion? A few examples here are what students have done to showcase their passion projects. These are simply examples, so keep that in mind. A recent one is from a student whose volunteer opportunity got canceled, which then led them to create and donate masks to organizations. Another is alumni taking their passions and interests to Instagram and the development of a podcast, combining their personal and professional interests. Third is diversify your experience. What different forms of experiences have you had that demonstrate transferable skills? There are many ways to gain experience, and employers have told us how much they value the different forms of experience and other transferable skills. So how can you use course experience and or student engagement like volunteer and research to demonstrate your skills and competency? So here's an example of a student whose major is human physiology with a career interest in healthcare. They are bringing in a microeconomics course project that may seem completely unrelated to healthcare, but they illustrate the transferable skills to show the connection they've been able to make and incorporated this content into their resume. Another neat resource you can explore now is Parker Dewey, an organization that offers virtual short-term paid professional assignments that are similar to those to new hires and interns. These micro experiences typically range from 5 to 40 hours of work, and students can be selected for multiple opportunities. So after today, you can create a profile and employers will maybe reach out to you on a paid project. The fourth is career exploration. Start thinking about what you're looking for in your career. What do you need in your career? Use this time to intentionally reflect on where you are, what you value, where you want to go, which will give you clarity and direction with your next steps. I recently had a student whose shadow opportunity was canceled due to the pandemic. However, they were able to work with the expert to set up a few virtual and informational interviews. So consider conducting one or more virtual informational interviews. And as Emily mentioned, employers are eager to connect with students virtually. So take advantage of that opportunity. And career assessments are also helpful tools to help you explore careers, revisit a career assessment you've taken in the past, or take one for free. Assessments can provide some insights to who you are, along with some action steps that may be helpful to you as you explore options and ultimately make decisions about your career. And lastly, build self-awareness and confidence. How do you want to contribute your strengths and talents? How do you want to grow? Spend time building self-awareness and confidence so you're in a good place personally and ready for any professional challenge. Consider what your strengths are by jotting them down on a list and asking others who know you well. From there, think about how your strengths make up your professional identity and use that to inform how you want to update your materials, such as your resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile. So there you have it, 5 creative ways to make progress towards your career during times of uncertainty. What you've noticed across the 5 ways is the importance of reflection, which oftentimes can get overlooked during the job search process. So really make time for it is what I'm trying to communicate here. And now you might be wondering, well, how do I showcase personal and professional growth on my resume, Marlena? Well, here's an example of how you might communicate your personal professional growth on your resume, which which shows the self-paced short class you may have taken through LinkedIn Learning, in addition to the informational interviews you may have conducted. Not only can you showcase personal professional growth on your resume, but you can mention it in your cover letter and talk about it during an interview. So there you have it. And now I will hand it off to our special guest, Thomas, who's an alumni in CLA and who will speak about his personal journey related to this topic.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Marlena. I want to start by saying thank you again to the U of M, thank you to CLA, and thank you to all of you for sharing your time with me this afternoon. I also want to take a quick moment to acknowledge and honor all of you as you navigate school, graduation, and life and everything during this pandemic, and now even more as we kind of collectively cope with even greater tension and loss here in the Twin Cities. So just knowing that we're thinking of you and continue to push on. As mentioned, my name is Thomas, and I serve as the Connect Manager at the BrandLab. We are a nonprofit based here in the Twin Cities working to connect students of color and students from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds to opportunities in marketing and advertising. I'm excited to share a little bit about my personal and professional growth throughout my career, and hopefully you'll find some of it helpful. All right, I spent a majority of my time at the U definitely unsure of what I wanted to pursue. I didn't declare my major until I had to, until my advisor essentially told me it was time up. And I declared a major of communications because I knew I did want to get somewhere into the marketing or advertising or some sort of digital visual communication space. But I also had a strong background in education from my family and from my upbringing that I was really drawn to. So I saw these two really broad paths ahead of me in education and design, but I could really only see a singular path for both, mostly because of my lack of knowledge and understanding and really, knowing the different career paths and career possibilities that were out there. So on the tail, I was graduating on the tail end of the last year's session, and with that, I spent a lot of my time leading up to graduation looking for some immediate work. So I knew I wanted to be on this path of design or this path of education. So I was figuring out what can I get into for a job right now. I was one of those people who really planned, my 1-year plan, my 5-year, all of that, but obviously things don't always work out the way you plan. So I started looking for immediate work as I started to wrap up my school year. And thankfully my CLA education really kind of prepared me to go in multiple paths and seek different opportunities. I found work at a local elementary school where I was able to, build my first real professional experiences and also gain that first look into education as a possible career path. But that also inspired me to want to look into the other path. I had enjoyed my time at the school. I had enjoyed my summer experiences working with young people. So I wanted to really look if art and design and that creative path was viable for me. So it was really kind of that self-awareness and confidence that Marlena spoke about that really helped me develop that need or inspired me to seek my next move. So once I knew it was possible, I headed to Atlanta where I began studying graphic design. And I continued to work in education in kind of a remote sense at that point because I was able to garner the relationships that I had from college and some of those work experiences and summer internship experiences that I had from my time at college. I was able to get some remote work. So while I was studying graphic design, I was still really leaning into that other path of education and working with young people. And I think that kind of dual path that I was able to, lead myself on and kind of explore both of those options has really become invaluable in my career ever since. So that the same connection that landed me that remote work became my first real job out of school with the Children's Defense Fund in Washington, D.C., where I had an incredible experience working in different sides of the education and getting to do more policy work and really expanded not only my skill set, but my experiences within there. And it also gave me opportunities to kind of flex my design skills and use that visual communication in the work I was already doing. And so that's where I had that aha moment of it is possible to kind of combine these two paths and really push myself forward in that uncertainty and allow myself to kind of create my own path. So I've really been able to use all of those skills and experiences that I've got from both sides. And it's led me to really come full circle and get in this current role at the BrandLab and also working as a freelance graphic designer. As I mentioned in my role, I currently work with students and really get to help them tap into that creative side and connect them to those types of opportunities that I wish I would have known about back when I was in school. So again, really having those connections, those skills, and that personal growth had helped me kind of navigate that uncertainty and create this life that I wanted, or this career that I wanted, as opposed to, again, the career that I started out on in terms of taking what I could get. So I know that things are extremely tough and will continue to be tough and will only get tougher. I really can't imagine what all of you are going through, but I really do know that this will help you lead, as collectively as innovators, but also really help you to look inside yourself. And as Marlena spoke about, that self-reflection, really figuring out what is important to you and how can you make it happen and really develop into the person and the career that you want to be in. So I look forward to answering some questions if you have them at the end, and thank you again for sharing your time with me today.
Thanks, Thomas. Thank you for sharing your journey and how you've been able to integrate all of your skills and your interests and really defining and creating that to make it work for you. So thank you so much for sharing and being here. And so as a recap of our time together and what we've talked about, personal and professional development can happen at any place and time. There are various ways you can explore, build, and strengthen skills and competencies. Career development is a journey, not a destination. And using this time wisely and purposefully, all while making it work for you and for your life. Action steps you can take after this webinar. First being, determine how you want to personally, professionally grow. I think sometimes we think these two can be very siloed when really we can blend these two to make it work for us. The second is identify a gap in your skills that you'd like to strengthen this summer. Maybe updating your resume and tailoring your application materials for future jobs, and reaching out for support in whatever way that works for you. Now I'll transition it over to Laura, who will talk about resources and upcoming events.
Thank you, Marlena and Thomas, for sharing your insights and experiences and your journeys with that. As Marlena mentioned previously, there are several resources that are available to help you continue growing personally and professionally during this time. Some of these resources include LinkedIn Learning and Coursera, which are online learning platforms. The Rate tool can also help you reflect, articulate, translate, and evaluate your progress within CLA's 10 core career competencies. And it even has a cool practice interview feature once you complete your first rate. Career assessments are another great tool. And remember, CLA offers the Super Strong, which is a free interest assessment and can allow you to explore various career paths. You can also look into the Strengths Finder or other personality assessments such as the MBTI. And of course, the university's many wellness resources. You can find support with your well-being and your job search by connecting with student counseling services, Boynton Health, looking at the de-stress newsletters that come out periodically, as well as the Earl Bakken Center for Spirituality and Healing. I encourage you to explore some of those options if you are trying to focus on your well-being at this time, and that is certainly a priority. You can find links to these resources and many more on the Career Support for Students During COVID-19 page at cla.umn.edu. Additionally, I'm excited to introduce the CLA Career Services new YouTube channel, which includes a variety of timely and relevant videos, many of which relate to today's topic on growing personally and professionally, including managing well-being, excelling at working from home, an introduction to the Rate tool, as well as developing your professional identity. Our YouTube channel will also feature all recordings from this webinar series. Additionally, know that CLA Career Services is here to support you virtually. Check out our new COVID-19 webpage on the CLA Career Services website, attend virtual drop-in hours Monday through Friday, or meet with a career counselor via Zoom. Finally, know that Gold Pass, powered by Handshake, still has lots of opportunities and events that you can access during this time. I encourage you to visit GoldPass often and set up job search alerts so that you don't miss out on opportunities as they arise. Lastly, I'm excited to share a new opportunity for recent CLA grads. If you are a recent CLA grad as of December 2019 or May 2020, and you would like some additional support with your job search, consider joining a recent grad job search community. Job search communities are small groups of recent graduates who will meet for 4 weekly virtual group check-ins via Zoom and complete additional action items to guide participants in the job search process. Each community will be facilitated by a career counselor and will feature insights from alumni employers on topics of networking, online search strategies, tailoring application materials, and interviewing. Communities launch the week of June 8th, so to learn more or join a community, we encourage you to fill out the short registration form via the link on the screen by Sunday, May 31st.